Hey, have you ever received a large bill and you're like going, wow, how did that happen? Well, happened to me recently. It was a large water bill and I've gone, hey, how did we end up getting a large water bill? And it occurred to me that during this summer, we've had the sprinkler system on a lot longer than we normally do during the winter. Therefore, the front and the back gets watered. But here's the kicker. The nature strip wasn't getting watered because it's technically not our land. So for those who don't know what a nature strip is, because I know some parts of the world don't have this, it's basically at the front of the house between your house, the footpath, and the bit afterwards. You get a piece of land that you're supposed to look after because the council won't do it for you. You don't own it, but you're supposed to look after it, mow it and trim the hedges and whatnot, trim the edges. Anyway, this bit was dying and we can't put a sprinkler system there. And plus I didn't want to stand there at night watering it because it's obviously going to take up more water. So I thought about this, how am I going to solve this issue? Then I got the bright idea, let's use some buckets in the kitchen and take the water up and back, up and back. If you are new to my channel, my name is Opie. And I talk about health, wealth, and happiness. So today's episode is all about perception and framing. Okay, how you frame something and make it to the point that it benefits you. So the situation that I had was this bright idea was great. I would use the water that we were going to throw away anyway, just by washing the dishes, washing our hands, and I'd take that water and dump it into the nature strip. The problem that I had was I'm going, oh man, I cannot be bothered just going back and forth to save some water. But I changed my framing. The framing was, I'm going to go, hey, I'm going to go outside, get some fresh air. I'm also going to get these steps up as well on my pedometer. So it was a win-win-win. Plus, it's only 3-4 times anyway. So who cares? Let's do it. And it wasn't long. I didn't do that for the whole summer. I did it for like a month and it was well worth it because if you look at the nature strip now, you know, compared to the neighbors' ones, our ones are thriving because all I've been doing is throwing the dirty water from the kitchen as we're washing our hands, as we're washing the dishes, just into the front yard. Anyway, all because I decided to just change the way I looked at things, okay? Just the framing side. I'll give you another example. Another example was my little one decided he wanted to make orange juice. He's like, can I make orange juice? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. You go for it and I will supervise from the sidelines. So he's all very excited and I'm like, I'll cut the oranges for you because I didn't want him using a knife. So I cut the oranges, a couple of them, and then I started off with a big bag. So he's cutting the oranges on the side. I'm washing the dishes and cleaning the kitchen. I'm sort of letting him be independent as I can because the motto that I have these days is if I can say yes to as many things as possible without there being major repercussions, I let it happen for the kids because I want to say yes as many times as possible without saying no. But don't get me wrong, I am the father, as in I am a disciplinarian. I will discipline the kids when they need to, but at the same time, they need to hear the yeses. So there was no negative outcome in him actually making orange juice. This is the first time he's doing it. So he's squeezing it away. Orange juice is pouring it out all over the place. So half of it is pouring out. And I'm thinking at the back going, and this is really hard for me because I'm generally a clean person and this type of mess annoys me. But at the same time, he's only a baby, right? He's only a kid. And I've gone, how am I going to change this? How am I going to view this differently? How am I going to change my framing? I framed it as, okay, I'm teaching him independence. Okay, he's learning to make something with his, and he's going to hopefully clean up after himself as well. And he's going to feel like a winner when he actually drinks the orange juice. So, right, there's several wins there. So all I have to do is just sit back, make sure he doesn't hurt himself. And how you can't really hurt yourself, right? Because I've already cut the oranges. So and he's really making a mess because he's pouring it from one container to another. And maybe about 50% is going from the little container to the big container. And then he moves from the front of the desk to the back cabinet area and spills half of it on the floor as well. And I'm just going, oh my God. But I'm keeping cool at this point because I framed it. He's got to be independent. He's got to learn. And I'm not being mad. I'm going, okay, sweetheart, maybe we'll try and do it this way. And I'm giving him really minor pointers, but I'm still letting him be independent. This is really hard for me because he's spilling stuff all over the place. So as he's peeling and squeezing the oranges, I'm sort of being his little minion and wiping everything down, because if you leave it for a few hours, then you got the black ants coming. So I can't really do that because, yeah. So I wiped it down with a bit of hot water, then paper towels, and then antibacterial wipe as well. Anyway, he got there. He loved it, and he's telling his mom, he's telling his sister, look, I made the oranges by myself. And all in all, it was worth it. Okay. All I had to do is just sit back, suck it up, and just let him be independent. The framing played an important part there. I'll give you one more example, right? Third one. I used to work with this team leader. This was in a sales area. So I used to be in a over the phone sales area. I didn't do sales, but this particular team did. And no matter how this team did, this particular guy would go into the board meetings and just frame it in such a positive way that all the managers like, oh, well done, mate, well done. And no one knew what actually happened, because he would actually, this is the sort of the borderline area where I'm going, is it really lying? Is it framing? So you gotta really know where you're going with this. But he would spin it to the point where even though the data was there, he would spin it in a way that it would shine a positive light on him and his team, and for somehow the results that they got, which was sometimes he had great months, but sometimes it was just mediocre. But the framing that he did, the twist, he'd sort of go down to the positive moments. Hey, look at this particular customer gave such a positive review for this person in his team. We ended up basically retaining these customers because of the efforts that this person did. It was just remarkable. And I know you've got people in your life who know how to do this really naturally, right? They're salesy people, and that's fine. I'm not sort of speaking that negatively, but what I guess want you to do is use this as a positive in your life. Everything you do, if you can frame it to the point where it's going to benefit you rather than hinder you, let it be so. Let it be. I mean, the way I look at it is my morning smoothies that I talk about often in this channel, often it doesn't taste that good because I've just got a whole lot of stuff in there, but I just have to suffer through 2 minutes of pain. It's not really pain. I just scull it, and I know I'm getting all the nutrients that I need for that day, which is the reason why I'm, one of the few people in my age group that's not taking any sort of medication for cholesterol, high blood pressure, fatty liver, or whatever the other disease is, because I just frame it in a way that this concoction of my smoothie is good for me and I'm going to drink it, and it does work. That's it. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.